All right, this is going to be a real talk episode 61. And basically, the real talks are I'm going to have a title and then I'm going to talk about that. I can go off in any direction, but for this particular subject, I'm going to stick to it and I'm going to discuss it. So let's start with what I feel are humanity's two most severe problems, the biggest problems humanity has. I'm also going to talk about the afterlife, but let's talk about demons and low IQ. These two are kind of intertwined, these two issues. And I feel that every problem that humans face is directly tied to this. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, anything I can think of. I've thought about this a lot. And I'm like, any issue that humans have always comes back to this. So let's start with demons, right? The first issue, and the most important one, is that demons control everything. Some people call them aliens. Some people call them this, that, and the other. We can call them the evil ones, right? To kind of like encompass the whole thing, right? Because there are physical beings, there are non-physical beings, interdimensional, extraterrestrial, blah, 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 right? Like spiritual, you name it, right? There are all types of creatures that are trying to basically control and destroy humanity. I just call them the evil ones, but we can just call them the demons just to make it easier, right? These creatures have basically fabricated, molded, created, structured society, or they were actually the engineers of all human societies for the most part, at least the ones on Earth, and everything you see. And the way things are, from working, money, religion, anything you can think of, governments, countries, languages, anything you can think of that is part of this world, part of the earth, was made, constructed, and engineered by these demons. They have gone through great lengths over centuries, eons, millenniums, whatever you want to call it. Just big time periods, great eras of fine-tuning how to control humanity. And they've even gone to the point of wiping out humanity as a whole, whatever humanity was there, thousands of years ago, and resetting society and starting over. They can literally do that. So I just want you to understand that the creatures that control the world can literally, whenever they decide, wipe out everybody on Earth, reset the whole fucking thing, and start over and do the whole game again. They can just do it just like that. Apparently, there are good forces that are stopping them from doing that. But honestly, even though I hear about these good forces that exist, and I'm sure there are some, I don't really see them. I don't see what they're doing, to be honest. They seem to be passive. They seem to be watching humanity, and apparently they don't want to intervene. They don't want to get directly involved because of two main reasons. One is because once they do, they become part of this reality, and now everything that happens here affects them. So they basically become human to a degree. Not fully, but once they die here, they do reincarnate into humans. And then also because they believe in free will, quote unquote, which there's no such thing, but they believe in free will, right? And the good ETs believe that, and this is apparently what makes them good, right? Is that no matter how stupid or ignorant or retarded humans are and how bad their decisions are, as long as humans came to the conclusion and decision themselves, which has never happened, but this is their, ideology, then they're going to let humans do what they do. Here's my problem with that. Humans have never, as I just said, been free to the point of making their own decisions without any outside interference. That has never happened. Humans have always been controlled, manipulated, influenced by some outside force, good or bad, apparently, right? I want to say mostly bad. I've heard stories and read stories about good influences too, but for the most part, even the good ones have done it in a selfish way where it's mostly for their own benefit or their own ego, where they're like, oh, I'm just helping you guys because I want to seem like I'm doing a good thing, which is funny because that's how humans are, right? Humans do this egotistical, I want to help someone, but it's more like to make themselves feel good. They don't really care about who they're helping and if it's really actually helping the person. It's just, I want to be viewed as a good person. That's how most, damn near every human is. Regardless, so that's what the good ETs have supposedly been doing, right? But anyways, let's go back to the demons. So the demons, for the most part, especially now, control this world. You can't do shit on this planet unless they allow it. That's that. That's how it goes. And here's where the low IQ part comes into play. And this is on the human side. Most humans are literally retarded. I can't say it any nicer than that. Because they're so stupid and so ignorant, and they've been so brainwashed and so conditioned to believe lies that they can't see what's happening. They can't figure it out. And I've studied, and I'm going to talk more about the dark afterlife, what happens when you die and all of that. But over the last couple of years, and this is why I haven't made too many videos, because it's not just about my personal life or I have something going on or I'm busy or I've lost motivation. Part of the reason why I've lost motivation is because I'm starting to see what humans actually are. And I'm starting to feel like there's no reason to help humans. Now, why do I say that? Well, from all the studying I've done, all the things I've seen, and I've yet to see otherwise, either humans cease to exist when they die, or they become demonic. They turn into a demon, or they already are a demon. I can assure you this. Let me put the dark afterlife aside for a second. Let's talk about actual life, living. When humans are alive, I'd say most of them, 99% of them, act demonic or are influenced by some kind of demonic nature, a demonic entity. A lot of people are actually demon possessed. I'd say most people are. And what that does is it causes them to act in a demonic way. When I see this, and then you have somebody like me, right, who I've never told you guys I was a good person. If anything, I'm probably one of the worst demons that's ever existed, just to be honest with you guys. But I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to actually work with the good side, quote unquote, if there's even such a thing. And I'm trying to wake people up so that, because I don't like that side. When you keep going down that dark path, you don't want to go that way. And what causes you to go that way, whether you know it or not, and this is again where the low IQ comes in for humans, because humans do a lot of things and they don't know what they're doing. They think they're doing something good, but they're not. When you take certain actions, even if you think it's good and it's actually a bad thing, you're actually doing a bad thing, but you think it's good, you're pushing yourself and steering yourself towards the evil side. Whether you know it, it doesn't matter whether you, this is the problem humans have. They think, oh, well, as long as I have good intentions. And then there's a saying, the road to hell was paved with good intentions, right? Well, that's as true as it can be. You can believe that you're doing something good, but if it's not an actual good action, it doesn't matter whether you believe. I'll give you an example. In the Middle East, right? They like to blow themselves up in the name of Allah. They think they're going to go to heaven if they do this, right? This is what they believe. That's not true. First of all, it's evil. Second of all, there is no afterlife as what they think it is. And third of all, if there is an afterlife, they're going to go to hell. This is the problem that these people have. And everybody's like this. It doesn't matter. It's just the level of severity that you're willing to take your religion, right? For instance, what I'm talking about is some people are more willing to do things, right? And be extremists and be zealots and die for their religion. If you're willing to do that, then you're just going to go down a darker path. But even people that on the surface think they're doing good things, but they're not, And I'm not saying everybody, because like I said, there are some good people, but most people are not good. They think they are, but they're not. And when you're leading people into ignorance, you're leading them down a dark path, and you think you're doing something good, but you're not. Your actions are going to dictate what path you take. That's how it works. So I'll give you another example. The LGBTQ community, right? That whole thing is evil. The whole entire thing. Going down that path is ugly. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, look at the people. You can see it in the physical form, in the human form, what they look like. Second of all, it turns your soul dark. It turns your soul ugly. A lot of people don't know this, but your actions and the things that you do in the physical will translate to the spiritual. And what ends up happening is that shapes the beauty of your soul. So the more good things you do that are actually good things, not pretend make-believe good things, but actual good things, your soul will beautify over time. The more evil you do, the uglier you become, literally. That's why they say you're acting ugly or you're being ugly or whatever. That's a real thing. Humans say a lot of things, they don't even know what they're saying. But there's actually some truth to it, right? Anyways, now how do I know, like, let's use Islam, right? Let's use that for a second. I don't know what they're doing is wrong. First of all, I can see it with my own eyes. I don't even need anybody to tell me, right? Like, I can just use common sense and just see what's happening. And I can feel it too, right? Feels wrong, looks wrong. And then also, because I've done a lot of research, I know where all the religions come from. I know where they got their knowledge from. I know where all the information came from. All of it came from demons. All of it. Even the things that are true. They leave some truth in there, right? The evil ones, they leave some truth. That's how they get you on the hook. That's how they convince you. That's how they trick you. They feed you little nuggets of truth with a whole bunch of shit, lies smeared all over it. And then you eat it like it's chocolate. That's what's happening to you guys. Right? Not to me. I see through the whole fucking thing. But I'm trying to wake you guys up so you can see what's happening, right? So, because I know this, then anything that religion teaches, or even I've heard about people having experiences with Jesus and God, and they saw the devil and Jesus took them to hell and all this near-death experience bullshit. If I know that the evil ones are controlling the world, the demons, and they gave you religions, and then when you die, quote unquote, what they said in their religions that they gave you happens because they manifested it, because they made it happen to trick you, to make you come back as a witness so you can tell the rest of the world, hey, look, this is what happened. Religion is legit. Yeah, I really saw Jesus. I really went to hell. I really saw the devil. That's just furthering the shit, right? Like, it's making the situation worse for the people that don't know any better. Or for the people that want to believe in religions. They're like, oh, well, look, this person had a near-death experience and they saw Jesus to talk to God. It must be real. Right? Here's the problem. First of all, that's fake. It's manufactured. It's basically constructed by the demons. So when you die, they can fool you and trick you into believing whatever the fuck they want. Because they control the whole fucking world. And when your soul dies and you go to the light, that's their light. Their electricity they shock you with and basically hit you with amnesia. But long story short, anything that they do in that afterlife, quote unquote, is to trick you so you can come back and tell humans that religions are legit. That's the whole trick. But then people want to ignore all the other shit that's happening in the world. I'll give you an example. When people get demonically possessed, or when a priest tries to cleanse a home of an evil presence and the situation gets worse, or you have people praying while they're being attacked by demons and nothing happens. Instead, the demons get more aggressive. Why does that happen? Because it doesn't work. It's not real. What makes anything in religion real is your belief in it and if you're genuine about it. In other words, if you really believe in good, quote unquote, there is some good energy in the universe that exists that will help you and protect you in your times of need. That does exist. I know that exists. But that's not exactly the way it's being taught in religions or the Bible or church or anywhere. It's not being taught correctly. So people don't really know what the fuck's happening. They're just doing whatever the fuck they heard somebody else do on the internet or in church on Sunday, or the pastor said, do this, do that. All the things that people have picked up over their life, or even their parents, right? Because parents are the biggest brainwashers of all, right? There should be a law against people having kids. It should be illegal. You should have to take an IQ test and a whole bunch of other tests where you have to prove that you're qualified to have a child. Because parents are the biggest brainwashers of children. They teach them all these things that are wrong. Most people that are religious, where did they get it from? Their family. Or it doesn't even matter. And we don't have to focus on religion. Anything that most people learn is from their parents, good or bad. Sometimes people hate what their parents taught them, even if their parents were right, just because they want to be rebellious. So they end up going down a dark path. Regardless, humans either, get brainwashed by their parents, or they want to rebel against their parents. And they end up going down a dark path because they don't want to be like their parents. So they throw out anything good that their parents could have taught them. Most of the time, it's just being brainwashed in the wrong way, learning the wrong things. Religion is a major part of that. I see that all the time where people are very religious and they just got it from their parents because that's what their parents believe. So they were forced. I know because that happened to me. And I know because it happened to a lot of people that I know personally, let alone online or anywhere else, right? Most people are religious because somebody else made them that way. They didn't come to the religion on their own. Nobody came to religion on their own. This is something you're taught. Same thing with school, right? How do you learn anything in school? You got to go to school, right? If you don't go to school, you're not going to learn anything that they taught you in school. But school is the same thing as religion to me, where it's a facility or whatever you want to call it, a place of brainwashing is what I'm trying to say, right? It's a place you go and you learn things and you don't know if it's true or not, but you're being brainwashed by your parents to obey authority. And then you go to school and they're also an authority. And whatever they tell you, you're like, oh, well, this has to be real because I'm in school and everything in school is the truth. A lot of things that I learned growing up until I got older, I had already been questioning things as a child, right? I was like, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't seem right. For instance, I'll give you an example. When I would pray to God or Jesus and I was genuine about it, nothing happened. My life got worse and worse and worse. And then people, these stupid motherfuckers that think they know about God or religion, or they think they can speak for God, right? They'll say, oh, well, God works in mysterious ways. God just has a plan for you. God is challenging you. God is putting you in a bad situation because he's testing you. How the fuck do you know that shit? Who the fuck are you? You're another fucking human on earth, just like I am. You're not God. How do you know what God has planned for me? How do you know this is God's will or God's intention? You don't know shit. You don't know shit but what somebody else told you, what pastor told you, what the Bible told you, what your parents told you. And now you're telling me that shit when I know you're fucking full of it? Shut the fuck up. Don't tell me shit. That's the shit I'm talking about. So from my own personal experience, growing up and praying, I knew that shit didn't work. Now, does it work for some people? Yes, because again, there is an energy in the universe that will, at certain times, which I have learned to tap into, will help you if you're genuine about it. Doesn't always work though, but it can work. But it's not God, it's not Jesus, it's not anything that you're taught in religion. It's not like that. That's not how the shit works. It's all bullshit. But anyways, long story short, what I'm trying to say overall It's because humans have low IQ and they don't know any better. And I'm going to make a whole video about religion too. And talking about how stupid motherfuckers are that are trying to convince you about what God said or what God did. Like they're God. Like you don't know what the fuck. You can't speak for God. Wouldn't you consider yourself being blasphemous? Putting yourself in the place of God and speaking for God? Or acting as an authority of God? Doesn't that go against your religion when you're doing that? When you're speaking in that manner? I'm just saying. You guys are the ones that believe in this shit. So if you really believe in it, right? You really believe in your religion, then act like it. None of you motherfuckers follow the shit that you believe. You're all full of it. But anyways, I see this shit, right? With my own eyes. I experience these things. And long story short, humans don't have the IQ to see what's happening to them and how they're being fooled and deceived. They can't see that demons control the world and run the world. They can't even see it, let alone what are they going to do about it if they do find out about it, right? Because like I told you before, these demons, they have the capability of wiping out humanity whenever they want, resetting the whole fucking thing and starting over. And I'm assuming, and I don't know this for a fact, but I can kind of gather from the things I've studied that humans in the past have become rebellious or have figured out how to do certain things or have wanted freedom or whatever. And these demons are like, oh, you want to be free? Okay, we're going to kill all of you. And then they just start over and do it again. They can just keep doing this shit over and over. Not to mention when they kill everybody, that's why they have all these wars. They feed off of that energy. So killing humanity isn't really like a bad thing for them. It doesn't hurt them. If anything, it's a feast. And they can just do it again and again and again. It's like, best way I can explain it, it's like if you have a whole farm of animals and vegetables or whatever, and then you eat all of it, but you still have the capability of growing more cows, growing more pigs, growing more vegetables, and then doing it again, growing them back up again. They can keep doing this. This is how they view humans as cattle. They view humans as farm animals or basically just a commodity, right? A resource. They don't view humans as humans. But anyways, to end this video, because this has gone on for a while, I don't want to make it too long. I have a lot more things I want to say. I have a lot more things I want to talk about. Main thing I want to leave you guys with in this video is because humans are very stupid and low IQ, it makes it difficult for them to be able to see what's happening to them. And because they can't see it, they can't fix it. They don't even know it's happening. They're so brainwashed. And then some of the ones that do know what's going on, they're like Stockholm syndrome, right? Where they've been abused so much by their possessors or captors that they're willing to suffer in the world just as long as things don't change because it's familiar. So they're willing to keep working and dying and going to wars and doing all the shit that we've been doing, right? The whole shit, everything that we've been doing, humans are willing to keep doing that because it's comfortable and it's what they know. Even though they know it's not good. Everyone complains about working and not having money and yada, 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 right? Yet humans keep doing the same thing. Why did it keep doing the same thing that you complain about? It makes no sense. Because they're comfortable. They're familiar with it. And they're scared to do anything about it. They're scared to fight or to rise up. So they'd rather just put up with it. That's what's happening. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. I'm going to make way more videos. I'm going to really pick things up again. This is just more of a coming back and letting you guys know what I've been seeing, what I'm learning. And one more thing I want to say. I'm really starting to think that humans are demons. And I think that's why they're comfortable with the way things are. Which makes it difficult for me to want to help them. Because if you're comfortable being a demon and living like a demon and doing things that demons do, because all the shit we do on this planet is demonic. And you're comfortable with that. And you're good with that. How can I help you? Right? What can I do? I don't want to live like this. I don't want this shit to be this way. But other people are fine with it. And then when people die, they do all these evil things. Like they'll haunt people or they'll turn into demons. And I'm like, well, shit. Maybe humans are just demons and they're not meant to be helped and there's no saving them. That's what I'm starting to really believe. I don't want to really believe that, but if I'm not seeing any evidence to the contrary, and if anything, everything I see reinforces this belief that I have, guess what I'm going to believe? Exactly. So, anyways, if you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can, hit the notification bell. See you guys in the next video. Take care.